Hello and welcome to another edition of Happenings.
It really is all about and bringing the community to the school.
In the schools, developing relationships with students, with parents. No, we just taped a show on that.
Hello everybody, welcome to Happenings in the Dearborn Public Schools. I'm David Mustonen, Director of Communications for the Dearborn Public Schools. It's a big district. We always have a lot going on, and to make all of that happen, we have a lot of partners that help make it happen. And joining me, as always, Dr. Maleyko. Glenn, how are you?
Doing very well. We have another season renewed here, so I know this is our second episode in, but
well underway.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Your contract got renewed, and we're all good to go for another series. And over, I believe we're now like at 52 episodes we've taped.
And growing.
And growing.
I even bought some new shirts and ties.
Oh, good.
Good. So got tired of looking at me
the same thing.
Ones.
Okay, yeah, there you go. So just so everybody knows, when they see me, and we tape two at a time, so that's why we look like we're wearing the same.
Right.
Just so.
Exactly. So we've got some special guests joining us here today. Glenn, you want to introduce?
Yeah. So we have Susan Dabaja. She's here as chair of the Ed Foundation, but she's also council president. So welcome, Susan.
Thank you. I'm a freshman here, a rookie.
Yeah. Okay.
First timer on the show. Okay.
First time on the new set with the round table.
That's right.
Yep.
And Chastity Townsend. She's the is executive director of the Ed Foundation. So welcome both of you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for taking your time for being here to talk about the foundation, which I'm going to go back to this, David. We have it. You know, really what the Ed Foundation is doing is supporting our vision of students first. And so can you kind of just tell us, your role and what you do on the Education Foundation, Susan?
Sure. So I'm currently the co-chair. I serve alongside Ali Sayed as my fellow co-chair, and we have a board. We meet once a month, but we also are involved in communications with Chastity as our executive director throughout the month, obviously, and we also serve on our different various committees, which we could talk about, I guess, through dialogue. Sure. The functions that are put on by the board, primarily our function really is to raise funds, and get the image out there about the foundation, what we do, and hopefully gain some more supporters over time.
Well, I can speak personally to experience, and now I am on the foundation as superintendent. I sit on the board, but I can also speak going back to when I was a teacher years ago, when we didn't have funding for certain items, and we would come to the foundation for computers or other things that may have been at the time. And the foundation's always been there to fill the gap. I remember, too, when Brian Wiston was superintendent, there was a time when it was tough budget cuts, tough budget time, and the foundation has always been there. So Chastity, the amount of money, I can't remember the exact total, but there's several $1 million, isn't it, that the foundation has contributed?
We've done about $2 million since conception in 1992.
Okay.
Yearly, that's about $250,000 we're bringing in, and we're spending about $187,000 a year.
Okay.
So.
And I know that it is like teacher-student-based projects. Like, isn't that part of the bylaws where? Can you kind of one of you maybe explain that, like the type of things that would you would approve through the board?
Well, I will say this. So I also am a part of the grant committee. Okay. Which the grant committee, I think, is the primary function to some degree of what we do. And basically, teachers submit grant requests, and Chastity can speak a little bit more about that. Chastity's part of every committee, so she's really a huge part of this committee. But the teachers submit these requests, and it's usually for things that, obviously it's something for in their classroom that they want to be able to either apply with their children, their students, whether it's a tool, whether it's a program, an equipment, or anything else that they think that would better serve the needs of the kids and the students. And so we vet, Chastity vets these along with people from the executive board, executive board, and then it comes to us, and we look at it. We explore the idea of, is this something that we feel that would further serve the needs of the students, and is it something that is there a need for it, or is there room for fundraising on their part? And a lot of discussions happen.
Sure.
And obviously, Chastity just said we give out about $187,000 a year, so we work hard for that. But Chastity can speak a little bit more about the process.
So I have to say, we really try to align ourselves with the school district. We want to make sure that we're funding things that you guys are supporting and that the district feels is very important, because we want to be very careful in how we're spending our money and making sure that it's benefiting our students. So working very closely with your staff, they always give me some insight to, is there Title I funds, or is there another way for this, or that should be in the school's budget. So that really helps us align ourselves with you, the district, in making good calls on our grants.
And I feel like the communication has been great. I mean, that's where it's really been positive. And then the other factors, you have like community, you have staff, but mainly it's community members. It's not really staff members. You got the union involved, but anybody can kind of sit on the board, and it's nice. Some people that don't even necessarily have children in like the mayor, but he sits on it because he's supporting. So there's just a real good feel in the committee and just doing good things in the community, I don't know if you wanted to explain a couple of the big events maybe too that we do for fundraising.
Yeah, so we chair 3 events a year. Our next one coming up is March 5th, and that is our Mardi Gras event held at the Dearborn Hills Golf Course. And we're
a good time.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
We're looking forward to that, and we're already working on our sponsors and selling tickets and all that good stuff. Our next one after that is our Green Tie Dinner, which I really, really enjoy that one because it's honoring our community partners and handing out scholarships to students. So it's helping a student go to college, and so that is probably my favorite event out of all of them. Our third one is golf, which we just had back in September, and Dr. Maleyko and the mayor are our chair people for that event, and it draws a great crowd, and that's probably our biggest fundraiser out of all of them. And we also have Big Shot 50/50 tickets coming up for sale. Sure. And we only sell 500 of those, and they're $100 a piece, so you have a chance to win up to $25,000.
I just have to tell people that the last 2 years I sold the winning ticket, so there might be some good luck on.
You did. Even though I have to sell tickets, I think I'll buy from you this year.
I did once have a role, remember, with Brian, where I was doing a lot of winnings and these different raffles and things. But again, I'm just glad it goes back to help the students, and we really appreciate all the work that you both have done, and the entire board. It's just such a positive aspect.
If I could add, it's a team effort. Obviously, I think that Chastity's been our executive director. You've been on board for the last 3 years now? 4 years. And I think the direction that Chastity's taken us in has been wonderful. She's been a great addition to the foundation and has really streamlined things a little bit better, and is pushing, obviously, to keep making sure we can earn the extra dollar and how we can do that. But it is a team effort. We have the various committees that each serve, our members serve in those. And what's really neat is that sometimes we have non-members serving on those committees. So we have participation from outside. And each of us is assigned at least 1 or 2 schools, so we have that communication with the schools to make sure our teachers understand that there's an opportunity there that exists for them to be able to ask for funds, and to let them know what how to do that, and obviously just having that open communication is important. Yeah,
I think the way that the foundation complements the work of the district. I think Chastity brought that up. I think that's a real asset. I know that, there are college foundations and other school districts have foundations. Not all school districts do those. So that's another real asset that we have going here as well. And especially in the amount of dollars that you're bringing in is great. So I think that partnership really helps because it's complementing what the district's doing, and we're not fighting each other or spending dollars unwisely. You kind of touched on the scholarship part. I think that's another great part of the foundation. So if I wanted to start a scholarship, I could do it through the foundation. I could go to you and I could say, I want to start a scholarship for people getting into broadcasting or going on to college who are going to be in journalism or what have you. And you could help us do that, right? You can help people do that.
Yeah, and we do. We right now we currently have 9 scholarships available, and those people who have set them up are very involved. 2 of them to the point where they want to review the applicants, And, and then we have others that come to the event and present their own to those winning students that our committee chooses. So, it's great community participation. And, I don't know, it's a good thing. I mean, I can't say anything.
I think, too, the other thing that people should know about is that they can direct their funds. Yes. So if I'm like, I love science, and I just, I really want to make sure that the science labs have a certain piece of equipment at a certain school because that's where I went to school or graduated from, I can go to you, right? And I can direct those funds, correct?
Yes. We have a lot of those. So, we have sponsors that's, they give money that's only to be directed for elementary labs that we did last year. We've got funds that are set up to go for music and arts.
Yeah.
So it's really whatever the person wants to do. I mean, and think we're a nonprofit organization, so that's a tax write-off for you.
Yes, and that's the benefit of the partnership as well, because people need to know that, because as a district, we can't have the same type of tax.
Absolutely. And so when I talk to people, that's what I often tell them, if you're thinking about donating, donate through us, you get a tax write-off. And, we do have a system in place that really vets how this money is given. There's a few of us that participate on the grant committee, but I always say maybe I'll say I'm fiscally responsible. I think we all are, but sometimes I could be a little, I don't want to say cheap, but I'm just really cautious about how we spend those dollars, and we want to try to spread out that dollar as much as we can. And so I tell people that when you're donating to the foundation, your money is really being put to use in the best way possible.
And I know we also have a staff where employees can do a deduction off of their paycheck automatically. We take any amount. I mean, even if it's a few dollars a month or whatever, it all helps. And I contribute to that. I know a lot of us have for many years, and I think it's important that we do that. So, and like you said, making sure the money is managed properly so it is effective. And I've seen it. It is through that committee. There's multiple approval levels that it has to go through for vetting.
Just recently, and I don't know if it was a restricted funds, but we went to Fortson High School. Were those restricted funds?
It was.
Okay, so we went to Fortson High School, and it was just equipment that when you look at it, it's like small pieces of equipment, but obviously the cost adds up. And the teacher...
Dan Taylor.
Okay, Mr. Taylor, he says, I just caught it in passing, he says, that's going to help fill up that box over there, that cabinet that's needed stuff in there. And I just thought, well, it's just so rewarding to be able to know that we could help teachers out like that.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. So we appreciate the work you do, and you've had connections with community groups as well, whether it be Ford and others. I know we're doing the Next Generation Learning. So there's been a lot of outreach that you've helped with the positive PR. And so, thank you for your dedication for you. And you're both representing the full board. And actually, I would say thank all the people who have served over the years, because I remember talking to former trustee Guido, who said he was on the original one. And I know it's evolved over time, but it was an idea that came together, and you guys have really taken it to the next level. So thank you.
No, and thank you for your service on the board too. I mean, you have a good impact on that board too. You draw on the students too. They also know. I mean, you're the students. When they say the people's president, you're the student superintendent.
Well, I like that too.
We appreciate you and all of your staff. David's very great at helping our interns. Checking over their press releases, because that is his forte. And so he, offers direction and guidance, and we totally appreciate all of that.
Well, thank you.
Well, it's a good partnership for all of us.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
And we're all very fortunate to have that partnership. Ladies, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate it very much.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah. Dr. Maleyko, closing thoughts?
Well, I'm going to change the subject a little. Last time we talked football, this time hockey.
Oh, okay. All right. Your forte.
Yes. We're in a rebuild, okay? And it's okay.
It's
we just got to accept it. Red Wings are a great organization, and they just you need a little bit of time. They need some high draft picks, and we'll be good.
I mean, 25
I will still be
years,
watching, and I'm a diehard fan, so that will never change. So.
25 years in the playoffs, I think you do need a
Yeah.
little bit of time to rebuild
absolutely.
and get back to those winning ways.
So that's what today is my daughter's birthday as we're taping this, November 9, and one of the things she wanted was Red Wing tickets, so I have to come through for that.
Perfect.
Nice.
Perfect.
Yeah, for our family.
All right. Well, that's there you have it. If you want to send gifts to Glenn's daughter, Kara, Superintendent.
Yeah.
I'm just joking. I'm joking.
You won't get any tax write-off.
Yeah, no tax write-off. No tax write-off for that. Thank you all for joining us on another edition of Happenings in the Dearborn Public Schools.